Hello. Hey everyone. Hi. I've actually written what I need to say on Twitter and Facebook now, so you don't have to stare at me awkwardly typing for 10 minutes. Hi! Shout out to the girl before. You're cool. Anyway, sup? Hey Troy. Yeah, that's me. Okay. Let me post it. One sec. Do. Probably not the right link. Let's see what happens. Tweet first, check it later. Oh, we need to do our little Inception thing. You won't be able to see it because I'm not holding my laptop, but you'll be able to hear the horrible thing. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Wow, that's a lag. So basically, you're seeing everything that I say about like 30 seconds after I say it, which means that if I get shot, it's too late, basically. Hi, happy April 1st. How's the day been for all of you? Good? Fun? Where's the jersey, Dan? The jersey's on the floor. Why? Dub. Has anybody been trolled super hard today? I haven't that much. I've not been genuinely confused by anyone yet. What has ruined your day so far? Like, a lot of times I go on the internet and I don't know, like, I'm seeing a lot of people fall for, like, really dumb things that are obviously pranks. Like, the people that are like, wow, I want to actually be a Pokemon master that works at Google, and it's like, no, are you dumb? Yeah, pranks. You've been pranking each other, have you? Someone said, Dan, it says gullible on the ceiling. I was about to look up, but I didn't. My manager told me I was fired, but it was a joke, said somebody. What? That's not a joke. You could just be like, friend, I have a horrible disease and I've got 10 minutes left to live. You can't, no, there's a line of things that are like funny pranks, then there's just no. Your manager telling you you're fired, there's a line, and she's over here, or he. I rickrolled someone. Good for you, Carly P. Rickrolling. Good. Why the Troy thing? I should be asking you. Would someone else in the chat like to inform everyone else that is confused why the High School Musical? And anybody feel like explaining? Because I obviously me and Phil didn't feel like much explaining needed to be happened, but then there's a lot of obvious confusion from people. They said Matt Smith was going to be in Sherlock, and I cried. Did they? Did they? That's pretty funny. I like that quite a lot. Because Troy is fat. Fair enough. Dan, I can see your nipples. Can you? No, that's a cat. That's obviously not very erect right now. Sorry if you're disappointed. Where is your Wildcats jersey? It's just here. So, totally unrelated. I guess a bunch of you guys decided it would be funny to change your things to High School Musical things. Very lol. But I don't think anyone knew other than the girl that gave it to me. But a girl was like, hey Dan, so I heard that you had this High School Musical t-shirt, but you bought it at the Disney store when you were like 15 and it doesn't fit you anymore. Well, now I got you this. And I was like, what is it? And she was like, it's an actual Wildcats jersey from the thing. And I was like, what do you mean? And I got it customized for your name. And I was like, what? So shout out to the girl that got me an actual Wildcats basketball jersey. Holla, that was good. Speaking of irrelevant things, is anyone getting like random push notifications on Twitter from people that you don't follow at the moment? Because like I just randomly, like 3 times a day, I'll just be like, some random person favorited your last tweet, and I'll be like, thanks for telling me that. That's good. You're an official Wildcat. I am an official Wildcat. It's true. Indeed. Why did someone say Unidan? Unidan, the famous Reddit biologist? Probably not. Oh, man. You can turn it off. How you can't turn it off? Can you? What about, because I swear, like, you go to the Twitter push notification settings, and it's like, would you like other turned on or off? And it's like, what the hell is other? Don't lie. What you sneaky? Is that like an advert or something? Who knows? It's just odd. You should put it on. Should I? Should I put it on? It's not very comfortable. Well, I mean, it's kind of silky and comfortable, but it's a little bit scratchy on the inside, which is why I took it off. In settings, Dan, thank you, Trinity Q, for telling me when I can turn it off. So, yeah, what's your favourite April Fool's prank that you have seen on the internet today, of all the things? Bethany said, Tumblr Pro, where everybody got a top hat. I liked that, because it's like, it didn't ruin anyone's day. If it did ruin anyone's day, I can't even fathom how stupid you'd have to be to get somehow annoyed by that prank, but it's just a classy top hat for everybody on Tumblr. Good, good. The Pokemon challenge, yeah. If you don't know, Google Maps did a thing where they said that you can now catch Pokemon in the real world on Google Maps, and whoever catches the most can be employed as a Pokemon master at Google. And it was kind of a bit weird because it was a really funny prank video. But then if you go on Google Maps on your phone, you can actually see Pokemon on the map and catch them and stuff like that. So it's this really weird mix of this complete obvious lie because Pokemon aren't real in this thing, but then in real life, if you go on the Google Maps app, you can just see some Pokemon doing stuff, which is quite cool. But then it's like, is it real or is it not real? Because it kind of looked like they were advertising some Pokemon augmented reality game, which could totally actually be real. So I was just kind of slightly depressed because I was like, okay, so I know that this isn't completely real, but how real is it? Don't do that to me, Google. It was hard. Pokemon are real, said Chloe. Yep, sorry. Why won't Senpai notice me, Dan? I'm sorry. Well, there you go. The thing's achieved now. Anyone else got anything other than... Who's getting rickrolled? Everyone's saying that they got rickrolled. I got Attack on Titan rolled. Somebody on Tumblr was like, let's get this out of the way. We're expecting this a lot. So here is Rick Astley. And then I clicked on Rick Astley to play it, and then it started playing the from Attack on Titan, and I was like, did I just get Titan rolled? I think that's the thing now. Put the shirt on. Well, I could, but then I don't want to expose my actual non-cat nipples to you right now. Actual they're there. Okay. But my birthday just passed. Imagine this day being your birthday. No one would care, would they? My feels go out to anybody whose birthday is today on April the 1st. Because what a horrible day to be celebrating your existence. Imagine when your mum gave birth to you. She must have been like, gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. And everyone would have been like, yeah, right, liar. No, really, I had a baby. So, yeah, sorry to any of you out there that are born on this day, which statistically is a lot of you. Someone work it out. What's the green thing in the corner? What, this True Blood pint glass? Wow. Look, I've got some heavenly beams coming down. That's so distracting. Look, it's right in front of my face. Wow. Check that out. So anyway, my new video, Typos, uploaded it last night. Have you seen it? Probably not, because I only uploaded it at midnight last night. If you haven't, I've uploaded a new video. How does this work? I don't know how to use this website. If you haven't seen my new video yet, then if you click on the little YouTube play button down there, you see the red thing, that little triangle, it'll open my channel in a tab. I think it won't close this window. I don't want to risk it for myself. I'm pretty sure. But if you haven't seen my new video yet, then you can click on that little triangle and link it to it. So yeah, clearly that was a video that I have had coming for a very long time. I think I conceived pretty much everything I said in that video December last year. I've been holding on to it for a very long time, in case you've been wondering. But then I had this renaissance of Dan typing on the internet, where I hardly made any typos for 2 months, for 2 whole months. I'm sure you guys will remember. I hardly made any typos, and then as soon as I upload this video last night, I've just been a train wreck of typos. I've just been on a relentless typoing spree, completely accidentally. I typoed in the tweet where I tweeted the video, and like the following 5 tweets after that, and the description, I don't know if any of you guys saw the description of my video like 5 minutes after I uploaded it, but it looked like a drunk person that doesn't know how to speak English typed it. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. Phil read it because he was just looking at my video and he was like, Dan, are you aware that your description is literally just complete gibberish? And then everyone on Twitter was like, Dan, you could have claimed you meant to do it. You could have just rolled with it. You were talking about typos. You could have just claimed it was on purpose, and I should have, but it was too late by then. So to everyone else from this point onwards, I'm going to claim that it was all obviously deliberate and was some kind of ironic statement about the typos, but it was going so well. And then it went so horribly wrong. But oh my god. Yeah, one thing that I had to cut out from the video because it was too long was I mentioned, like, I only ever make typos if it's like something that everyone can see. So I only ever make a typo if it's like on Twitter where everyone that I've ever met in the entire world can point and laugh at me, or if it's in a really important situation. Like once I spelt my name on my passport application form wrong. That was good. That was really good. Did that when I was 12. That was fun. And then when I was in college / university, I gave my tutor the wrong email address because I spelt my own name wrong in my email address, and I missed out on the assignments that she meant to send me for like 5 months. Literally. Like, a typo almost made me, if I wanted to stay at college, I would have maybe actually failed my first year because I didn't get like any of my tutor's emails. Just please be careful when you're doing important things that you spell your own name right. I mean, I have a 3-letter name. How can I spell it wrong? I don't know. Pregnancy everywhere. I love the end of your video where you messed up the sentence. Yeah, oh my god, what was I trying to say? I was trying to... Well, yeah, I thought, like, would it be funny if I said that the reason that I do it is because I type really fast and I don't want to do it because I could be, like, maintaining a whole nother tab in my browser, and I tried to just say maintaining another tab in my browser, and I literally, for, like, 3 minutes, just couldn't... My tongue was just like... So imagine me sat in a big room by myself, sat in front of a camera, which is already, you know, my life is already weird enough, sat by myself in my bedroom, talking to a camera, and then I'm just failing to just say a sentence by myself, so I'm just sat there, and I'm like, maintaining another, my number, and then I just went freaking mental, and then I'm watching it back, and I'm like, what happened? How did I get to the point? If you haven't seen it, then just skip to the very, like, last 6 seconds of my video, but wow, that's, yeah. It was special. That happens most days, though, to be honest. The faces you made were priceless. It was the face of, I don't care about this sentence anymore. I want it to end. Do you watch The Walking Dead? Yeah, but I haven't been catching up with it for a while. Last one I watched was Boy and Girl in Woods, Setting Fire to Cabin. Woo! Prank Phil. You are aware that Phil can probably hear me. He is in the same apartment as me right now, and he is on the internet at the same time. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. Actually, if is that public anymore? I don't know. I had this video where I did a prank competition. I had to unlist it because I got the competition to be sponsored by someone and then it ended. But ask someone about the video where I prank Phil. It's a lol if you haven't seen it. Tell him there's a fire. No. You can't joke about fire, okay? If there's a list of things that are across the line, including someone's manager telling them that they're fired, and then going, JK, saying to your friend, there's a fire in this house right now, that's probably the line. That's probably the line. Someone re-uploaded it. They didn't have to. It's still on my channel. But why don't you do Truth or Dares anymore? I do Truth or Dares the same week every year. You can in private places, just not in public places, perhaps. Yeah. Tell them Sherlock's going to be coming back in a week. No. Jesus Christ. If there is a list of things that are too far, telling someone that Sherlock is returning next week, that's as far as it can go. TBH. Do you have no morals whatsoever? John, there's a raccoon in your bedroom. Yeah, wow. Spotify update. Spotify update. Have I even been listening to music? When did we last do the live show? It was before Playlist, wasn't it? Playlist Live. That was the thing that happened. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But let's see what Dan has supposedly been listening to, which is always completely inaccurate. Okay. Wow. Really? Really? Okay. Wow. Who? Okay. Who have I been listening to recently? Do you reckon? According to Spotify, do you think? All Time Low? No. Porn Step? No. Justin Bieber? No. High School Musical? No. Although maybe tomorrow. Pharrell? Nope. You're not gonna get it. Okay. It is. This is so random. Right. The Book of Mormon cast. I guess a lot. I don't know. Most of you probably haven't seen the Book of Mormon, as it's expensive and only in New York and London and probably some other places. But I've been listening to that. The Mary Poppins soundtrack, secondly. Yep, so there we go. The Book of Mormon. And then the Mary Poppins soundtrack. Yep, there we go. And then thirdly, Midnight Memories by One Direction. Apparently. There's a Book of Mormon, Mary Poppins and One Direction. Apparently. I don't know how true that is or not. Okay. Thank you, Spotify. There you go. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with the Mary Poppins soundtrack, because, I mean, obviously, Mary Poppins, one of my favourite films of all time. Seriously. If you don't have an appreciation for Mary Poppins, then you just miss out on life. Like, seriously. Especially if you're British, so you can kind of enjoy feeling patriotic about it. If you haven't seen Mary Poppins yet, you need to watch Mary Poppins, okay? Because it's just so good. It's like the best thing. It's just so cool. It's on a whole nother level. Like, Frozen's amazing, obviously. We all know how amazing Frozen is, but Frozen's here. Mary Poppins is some kind of, like, timeless, off-the-screen zone over here, in a good way. You're so British, am I? Am I particularly British? But it used to scare the shit out of me, the chimney sweepers. Oh my god. I discovered the... I'm not going to even talk about that. So what did you want to... Yeah, Playlist. Okay, so last week I went to Playlist Live, which was a YouTube event that happens in Florida. Does anyone want to know anything about my week in Florida? Because this is the time you should ask before it goes, generally speaking. Talk about John Barrowman. Okay, yeah, that needs to happen, doesn't it? Okay. I don't know if you guys saw. Did you guys see the Instagram I posted of John Barrowman on the plane? If not, you have like 15 seconds to get to my Instagram profile. So, what? Right. Me and Phil, on the plane to Florida. Nothing special about it whatsoever. Just flying Virgin Atlantic. Literally nothing interesting about this flight to Orlando whatsoever. I'm about 4 hours into this flight. Okay, so 4 hours in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, when all of a sudden, right, because me and Phil were sat right at the very, very, very front of the airplane, so it was just the pilot's cabin and then us. And we saw everything that came from behind us, but obviously we saw that the door was closed as soon as we got onto the plane. So, whatever. 4 hours in, the door opens, we see some air hostess come out, corner of my mind, right? And then me and Phil, we're in the middle of watching, like, I think it was Don John, the film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And then we look up, because we see that an air hostess is there with a trolley, ready to hand something out. And the air hostess is John Barrowman. Right, so if you don't know who John Barrowman is, he's an actor. He's in Doctor Who. He plays a guy called Captain Jack. He's in Torchwood and a lot of other things. You probably may or may not know who he is. Really famous guy that a lot of people think is very cool. I look up, and John Barrowman is stood in front of me in an air hostess outfit with a miniskirt, okay, like a Virgin Atlantic, that he's wearing a dress and a little beret and a cravat with a jacket that is meant to be like cropped around some boobs, and he's just stood there with red lipstick on. And then me and Phil, we just had this moment where for like 6 seconds the universe just like crumbles, because you can't imagine the confusion, okay? Because nothing makes any sense. We're in the middle of a flight, 5 hours in, over the ocean. The cockpit door was closed the entire time, and then all of a sudden, John Barrowman in drag is handing me a fab. And I'm just like, we both, because we can't express how confused we were at one moment. It was the kind of the thing where the level of confusion is so extreme that you stop functioning, because you can't articulate anything that you're thinking, because everything's just so much, and you're like, what's even happening right now, that it's just whatever, it's over. And then Phil just laughs, and I take it off him, and I go, okay, well, what should I say? I need to say something. And I'm like, this is now the best day of my life, as I receive the fab from him. And then he looks at me, and he goes, bet today you didn't think that Captain Jack Harkness would be giving you something to suck on. And I was like, he just said that to me, and I was like, whoa, I was just like, that's so weird, and kind of like slightly creepy, whatever, but but what's a fab? Okay, Google, open a tab, press Apple T or Control T right now, and then just type fab, ice cream, and then go to images. It's just an ice cream on a stick, basically, which has some, like, hundreds and thousands on it. It's strawberry flavoured. And I was just, like, having a seizure. I was like, that actually happened. And then he's walking down the cabin, and then people are like, oh, and then some old people are like, who's that guy? Because, I mean, obviously, if you're, like, an old lady, you probably might not watch Doctor Who, which is understandable. So I go down the cabin, and I'm like, you know how I feel about taking selfies with famous people. I think it's a bit cringy for various reasons, and plus I feel like if you introduce yourself to someone as like a crazy fangirl, then you'll never be able to like establish a fantasy friendship with them, which is obviously why I'd never be like, One Direction, take selfie with me. I want to be like, I'm a cool dude. But I thought, it's John Barrowman. This doesn't apply to him, and I have to. Imagine if I didn't post a photo, who would have believed me? Are you kidding me? Who would have believed me? Everyone would have been like, no. So I take this. It's like I go up to him, and I'm already like a bit weirded because of what he said to me, and I was about like, right. And I go, hey, can I take a photo with you? And he goes, can you take your pants off? And I'm like, what do I say to? So I just laugh, and I'm like, because that was like so. I wasn't ready for that level of wittiness, you know what I mean? I was already like having a bit of a stroke, and I was like, this is really cool. And then he went, bet you wouldn't think Captain Jack Harkness would be giving you something to suck on. And I was like, bam! It's like the amount of witty comment, I just got punched in the face and decapitated. And then again, I go to ask him for a photo, and I go, can I have a photo? And he goes, can you take your pants off? And I just like, bam! And it's like, how can he be that quick? I was just like, on one hand, I felt like I was a bit abused. I was like, this is a bit creepy. This is like 10% Jimmy, but I'm fine, whatever. And then that happened, and I just spent the next like hour going, what? That was so, I didn't take my pants off, obviously. I was just like, and then derped in the photo that I took. But that was the weirdest thing that ever happened. And yeah, so I did leave the experience feeling slightly abused, but it was by Captain Jack, which I guess is, I mean, if it's going to be by anyone, that's kind of like the fantasy situation, isn't it? So yeah, that happened. That was weird. So that was, talking about my crazy trip to Florida, that was the start. That was my first experience. So yeah, that happened. Did you know who you are? No, obviously. Why would he? So yeah, Orlando generally. Love Orlando. Has absolutely no culture whatsoever, but who needs that? Because the culture of Orlando is tacky theme parks, which is why it's the land of dreams, to be honest. I love Orlando. It wasn't as humid as it often is, because it is very humid in Orlando. It's like as soon as anything happens, moisture in your face. But I survived mostly. So then I arrived, and on the first day I went to Epcot with my friends Phil and Catrific. Cat, have you guys ever been to Epcot? How many of you guys have been to Epcot before? If you don't know what Epcot is, in Disney World, which is the name of like 7 parks in Florida, like Disneyland and Hollywood Studios and like Typhoon Lagoon or whatever it is. Epcot, how do I describe it? Okay. The worst theme park in the entire world, okay? I love it, ironically, because it's so pointless, but it is truly the worst paid attraction in the entire world. So basically, I didn't really understand it at the time, but then I went to Disneyland, and I went to like some Walt Disney exhibition where Walt Disney was like telling the life story and a bunch of photos of why he made stuff. And apparently Walt Disney dreamt of Epcot because Walt Disney was quite a guy that wanted to think about the future and how to save the world and stuff like that. And he really thought that humanity, and this was in like the 60s or whenever, needed to concentrate on science and technology, but also all the countries around the world joining together to become one great humanity for the future. Which I guess is just a nice idea. Like, okay, yeah, so world peace and science, that's a cool thing. He just decided to make a theme park based on that sentence. So what Epcot is it's basically a giant golf ball with a train in it, and then 8 restaurants. That's what Epcot is. So there's this, as soon as you go in, there's a giant golf ball, and inside the golf ball, there's this ride, which is like a tiny train where you move around like really slowly, you know, like you're being shown around something. And it was basically a ride that was built in like the 70s or the 80s. So it is so bad. And they've got like puppets and robotic people going, this is a woman with a clipboard doing science. Look at the woman doing science. And there's this voiceover. This ride was built before the internet. So basically the idea of this ride is it's supposed to excite you like it's a journey through the future, but it was built before the internet happened. So the whole time you're on it, you're like, what? This is basically us just watching what people in the 80s thought life would be like in 2010, and it's just so bad. It is funny, and that's it. And then they've got like a few things, like they have a 4D cinema where you can watch Ellen talking about time travel and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. But the main attraction is that there's a big lake, and then around the lake they have mini versions of all these different countries. So around this big lake they have a mini Norway and a mini Italy and a mini France and a mini England and a mini Japan and a mini China and a mini America. And the idea is that you can go to these tiny little recreations of the countries, which sounds cool, right? But there's not really any attractions at these countries. So you're asking me what's at these places? Just gift shops and restaurants. That's it. You go to England land, and it's like a fish and chip shop, and then a place where you can buy t-shirts that say like, keep calm and carry on. And then you go to Canada, and it's like a Waffle House, and then a t-shirt that's like, I Maple Leaf Canada, and stuff like that. At some of them, they have things like, oh, you can see a short film about China, and it's like, woo! But the thing is, you have to pay almost $100 to get into Epcot. So we all know how freaking expensive theme parks are, right? Like, I remember when I was a teen, wanting to go to a theme park, it was so expensive, and you pay like $100 just to get into an area where you can then go to a gift shop and spend more money. That's the whole thing. That is literally the whole of Epcot. The only ride, basically, in the entire place is there is a log flume in Norway. So you go to Norway land, and there's this log flume that, again, it was made in the 70s, and it's got all these like awful like paintings of like a woman working at an oil rig in Norway, and it's really fun. It's like, so my experience was I loved it. Because it was so bad. Like, I laughed the whole time. I had the best day ever just enjoying, like, just walking around going, why does this exist? that was my experience of Epcot. So I left going, I didn't waste a single dollar. I had a great time because I walked around going, wow, they need to demolish this whole place. It's like, why would you pay to just go into a place to then spend more money at restaurants? It's like, you're only going to eat twice in one day. It's like, if you dedicate the whole day to going to Epcot, you're only going to have lunch and dinner. So why do there need to be 11 restaurants? I don't like, oh man, that was Epcot. So it was pretty funny. But I'm not a hater. I would go. But it kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you guys have been to Universal. Is it in Florida? Yeah. But any theme park that's kind of made in like the 70s, 80s, they have like kind of really bad rides. It's some parks like Cedar Parks or Six Flags, they'll get rid of crappy rides and replace them with new crazy roller coasters. And it's like in the UK, we have our two big theme parks, which are called Alton Towers and Thorpe Park. And when they get a really, really old, crappy like ride, they demolish it and they replace it with a new fast one. And then you go on like the E.T. ride or any of these things like in these old theme parks, and you're just like on a really slow ride, and there's just like a really terrible robot telling you about something, and it's just, it needs to go. You cannot charge people anymore to come into these like terrible things, because we went to Hollywood Studios as well, and there were some great rides. You know, they've got the Tower of Terror, they got the Rock and Roller Coaster, it's good, but then it's like they need to kind of update a few things, you know what I mean? Oh man, because we went to Hollywood Studios, which is one of the Disney parks, and we got stuck in a roller coaster, which I'll tell you about in a second, which was quite a lol. Actually, no, I won't tell you about that. I think Phil wanted to tell you about that in depth. Short version, Rock and Roller Coaster, big roller coaster at Hollywood Studios theme park. Really fast. We got stuck on it. Terrifying experience. Could have died. It was awful. There's a long version of it that's very dramatic. You can look forward to that at some point. We got stuck. It's good. Yeah, guess the crime. We haven't done that in ages. Guess the crime. I haven't even been interrupted by sirens in a while. What was the crime, guys? So yeah, theme parks, lol. Isn't Hollywood Tower of Terror good? Silky on the outside, scratchy on the inside. Just look at this, scratchy, but it's super cool, and that's all that matters. Someone pooping. Someone stole a fab. That's pretty good. Ooh, someone stole a fab. Dan said his location is 69. Dan made a typo. Too soon. Too soon. Okay. Anyone that mentioned typos and the Wildcats gets 10, and the grammar it's the grammar police going to arrest me for being an idiot on the internet. There we go. That's the crime today. So yeah, the Tower of Terror is like an awesome ride at that theme park, and we met loads of people that day. It's like on that day we went on like a Tuesday or something. Like a random day, but loads of you guys were at this theme park. It was really cool. We bumped into loads of people, and it wasn't in a bad way. Like, everyone was really cool and stuff. But we got into the queue for Tower of Terror, which was like an hour long, and there was this girl stood behind me and Phil, and we didn't realize, but the girl was one of you guys, and we were like, okay, is this girl like a cool girl who's going to be nice, or is she like ultra creepy stalker 9000 that's going to take terrible photos of my chin from like an awful angle for an hour? So we were like, should we be scared? Should we be scared? So for like, and we saw that there were these like the man and woman stood behind us. We were like, oh, okay, so we'll just keep a little distance and not try to be creepy or whatever. And then about half an hour into the queue, we suddenly realized that the two girls that she was with weren't her parents. She was just by herself in the queue. So all of a sudden, we felt like the worst people in the world, because we were like, we're just trying to awkwardly blah, 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 but it's okay because she's with her family. And then we realized that the people that she with weren't her family, and she was just by herself. And I was just, all of a sudden, when we realized, we were like, oh my God, sorry. We didn't mean to just be ignoring you for like the last half an hour, just stood with our backs to you. We thought that you were with your parents. So then this girl was like, do you want to play the Ellen game? I don't know if you've seen it. It's the you know the dinner party game where someone writes like Madonna on a piece of paper and then sticks it to your head, and then the other people have to make you guess who you are. Ellen's got an app that does that. So we hung out with like one of you guys in this queue for half an hour, and then we went on the ride, and she was really cool. So shout out to the girl that we were in the queue with on Tower of Terror. That was fun. Wait, Dan, is your background a llama? What? But no, my phone. No, it's a fox. Some random girl on DeviantArt took it. So, yeah, what else? Is there anything else you want to know about Florida in general? It was super cool to see all my YouTube friends again and to meet loads of you guys. Obvs. I told my mum I was pregnant. Dude, did she react well to that? Well, that's a dangerous game. Seriously. Was Joey cool? Yeah, I never really got the opportunity to spend quality time with Joey Graceffa before, but I kind of did at Playlist Live this year, so it was good. I got to see all of my YouTube friends, which I don't have time to list, but I didn't care to hang out with them enough. Like, I'm just ticking down the time until VidCon again. I'm like, friends, please. Oh no, they're gone again as soon as it's over. The playlist was good. So many people came, but it isn't like people still need to know how to do YouTube events, kinda, because there were a lot of upset people. Because say, like, I think there were like 8,000 people that wanted to go to playlist. And obviously they all want to meet their favorite YouTuber, but a YouTuber can only like really meet a couple or a few hundred people in a day, and it's only happening for 2 days. And usually people can only do the meetups or signings or whatever for 1 day, because obviously everybody has to have their time and stuff like that. So I think that YouTube events haven't worked out how to do meetups yet, because at the moment they're just kind of like, sell everybody all the tickets, and then only 400 people will actually get to meet the thing, which is, it's wrong, you know what I mean? So I feel like, because obviously YouTube events is a very, very hot topic, and the same situation happens at like Playlist and VidCon, and especially Summer in the City last year, where loads of people go and they're really sad because they don't get to meet people because there's too many people, and blah, blah, blah. So I think what they need to do is they need to do some kind of thing beforehand where they need to work out how many people you can meet. You know what I mean? So it's like a YouTuber can only meet like 500 people in 1 day, so you shouldn't let 3,000 people be sad if it doesn't happen. So I think they need to do something where before the event you can find out, like, there needs to be, because it's never going to be fair, because it's impossible to meet everyone. You know what I mean? It's like, so many people would like to have a conversation with their favorite YouTuber, and it's just impossible. It's never going to be a fair situation, and there's no perfect answer. But I think that people should be able to do some kind of like raffle or first come first served thing, which says, congratulations, you will get to meet this YouTuber. So then everyone else that goes to the event and buys a ticket for it won't get disappointed or something. I'm gonna speak with the people at VidCon and Playlist before that happens, because I don't think that people should buy tickets to an event when they're not guaranteed to get what they want out of it. You know what I mean? Because enough people are going to buy the tickets, because everybody, you know, there's so many things happening at these things. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. Sorry if anybody was sad that they didn't get to meet us. I am too. There's no perfect answer, but I'd like to make it a bit more convenient for everybody. But these things are very hard to organise, and they're getting better. It's a new thing. all these people making YouTube events, they have no idea what they're doing. But did you see Alfie? I did see Alfie, indeed. What time is it where you are? 9:46 is the time. If you want to meet your fans, surprise them on Omegle. That is, why would I want all of you to just see fat old man penis? Hey guys, come on Omegle. Hope you like fat old man penis. That's that's even less likely to guarantee you'll see me than meeting me in person somewhere. Damn, we need to talk about Tumblr Pro. We did briefly, Stacey. I like the swaggy top hats. It's a good improvement, isn't it? Defo. What Harry Potter house are you in? I've talked about this briefly. Pottermore gave me a choice between Gryffindor and Slytherin, and I was like, flip the table. So, yeah, sorry that I didn't upload my video before. You guys, if you were here last 2 weeks, you'll remember I was like, I need to finish my video and upload it. And then that day before I went, I just had like a mental breakdown, existential crisis of the highest order. It was just an absolutely terrible day, and everything went horribly wrong, and it just didn't happen. It was one of those things where I was like, I could, but I don't think it's the right decision. So I was just like, so sorry that I made you all wait a week for the typo video, but it's there now. Soz. But as with most YouTube events and hanging out with mass amounts of YouTubers, it's always very proactively existential crisis and encouraging. I never like to point forward to things that may or may not be happening subject to change, but let's generally say I'd like to change things, so I'm putting more videos on the internet because that's what makes me happy the most. I think I should use my second channel more, because I was saying that at the moment I don't, for whatever reason, whatever, but I feel like I should just upload shitty vlogs and conversations with people. Like, imagine if me and Phil just sat down and had a boring as hell conversation about the roller coaster incident or whatever, and then I could just put it on my side channel. And the reason I'm saying this, because I bet you're all wondering like why and stuff like that, but the reason why is I've been thinking about like how many people appreciate a thing. It's like these live shows right now, I don't take these kind of things very seriously. This is like what we're having right now. What we're having right now is casual and informal as it gets. You know what I mean? I just WhatsApp, turn on the camera, waffle for a bit, tell you guys what's up, talk to you, whatever, bye. But the thing is, only 10,000 plus minus, depending on how much I promote it, which I never really want to do that much, get to see it. And if I tweet something, I know I have loads of followers, but you know that, you know, not everybody is on Twitter all the time. So it's like, not everybody can see everything. And I was thinking, if I have a story that's really funny, like John Barrowman on the plane, as a good example, I could talk about it in a live show, and 9,000 people would see it. I could talk about it in a tweet, and, you know, it'd be sent out to all these people, but how many people would, like, see and appreciate it? Whereas if I just took 2 minutes to make the shittest little tiny vlog where I just said something, then, you know, hundreds of thousands of people would just get to appreciate that little thing. So all I'm saying, short version, shut the hell up, Dan, is that I want to start saying more of the things that I say on Twitter and in live shows on my second channel, because I feel like there's so many people that are subscribed to me that I'm kind of like missing out on all the stories. So yeah, I'm going to start doing that. I'd like to start doing that. Obviously, the radio show is very busy, but future goals, soonish wise. Maybe next time something really funny happens, like the John Barrowman incident. It's like I could go back and I could do the John Barrowman incident now, but I feel like that's happened. You know, it's happened. Imagine if I got off the plane and then I told you what I told about John Barrowman, but I just did it in like a one-take video or whatever. You know what I mean? So whatever. Anyway. So yeah, that was cool. I like Florida. It was good. There's always a cross between slightly having a holiday and then slightly not. Did any of you see the radio show last Sunday? No, you didn't, because it was international. Don't worry, me and Phil always flip a table whenever they're like, the international stream's broken tonight. I'm like, why? You can't fucking do that. 5 Seconds of Summer were there when we were there on Sunday, because they just got their #1 single, which is really great. I'm very happy for 5 Seconds of Summer getting their UK #1 single. I didn't want to introduce myself to them because cringe, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather introduce myself to someone when we're both in the same situation, and I could be like, hey, I'm Dan the YouTuber, as opposed to like, hey, I'm about to work on my radio show. So, whatever. Although, which one's the guy on with like the purple hair? That guy? I think he looked at me at the Brits. I think he might know who I am. That cool dude. Anyway, yeah, sorry for not knowing the names. One more boy band I've yet to start stalking. Michael Clifford, said people. Okay, Michael. That guy, yeah. What do you think, guys? You know that I have this kind of ironic and then kind of genuine love for pop music and how it's all really manufactured and just like amazing and stuff, and how I love One Direction for the various reasons as much as I love Metallica and Beethoven and stuff like that. Are 5 Seconds of Summer a group of people that I could appreciate in that way? Do you think? Because the thing is, it's like with One Direction, there's too many wannabe One Directions, and it kind of annoys me when I see it, because I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know, like One Direction were like the original next generation boy band, and you're just like the lame version. So I'm kind of like, I'm always kind of like, meh. Oh wow, check out these opinions. I bet these are the people that are kind of like, yes, they're my life, I love 5 Seconds of Summer. And then the people that are like, they're not a real band, they're not All Time Low or Paramore, they need to die. You can picture the schism in the chat, just the absolute 50-50 shitstorm that is happening right now between hatred and love. They're not a real band, Dan. Talk about Panic at the Disco. I love them. Talk about One Direction more. Sorry. Metallica, love them, said Estefina. Hey. Wrong side, Dan. Wrong side? No, that's the chat. Are you seeing the chat there? Because the chat's there. Is the app. If you're looking at it on the phone, maybe it's over there. IDEC. Were you pranked today? No, because I haven't left the house. Why is it not mirrored today? What? Why is everyone saying this flipped around? It's what it usually is like for me. Is it flipped around today? Oh, that's weird. I hate how I look the other way around. Do I look... Oh my god. You know how... Okay, right, so... I don't know if you guys have ever given a shit about this, because this is so stupid, but obviously your face looks the same all the time, but when the mirror... When an image is flipped, it makes your face look different, even though it's technically exactly the same. And people actually have like a preference over which way they prefer to see themselves. So it's like if you take a selfie and you're like, oh, I looked good in that photo. If you saw what that looked like, if it was just mirrored, then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck is that? So if you're telling me that I'm flipped right now, this is a terrible development, because I don't want to know how horrific I look right now. Yeah, the chat is on the right, Dan. It's on the right for me too. That's good. What's happening? You're telling me that the chat's on the right. Aren't I pointing to the right now? Am I pointing to the left for you? I don't even know. You're flipped. That's weird. I was replaying Final Fantasy IX recently. Finished it today. One of the greatest video games of all time. Any Final Fantasy fans out there? True, utter 10 out of 10 game. Like, oh my god, you play so many MMOs and iPhone games and just games that are out this generation. You can tell when they could have done more, they could have put this in, they could have gone a bit further with this story or whatever. And Final Fantasy IX is just, they went 100%. It's just, they put so much love into the game, and it's just, sometimes I play a game and I'm like, it's a shame that they couldn't do everything they wanted, whereas Final Fantasy IX is an example of people doing like 400% as much is needed. Ed Sheeran opinion. I've been offered the opportunity to do something with Ed Sheeran that's happening soon, that which is freaking cool, because I love Ed Sheeran and I think he's great. But it's a bit too presentery, and I know I've talked to you guys, like, I'd rather... it's so wanky. I'd rather be a creative guy than be like a lame presentery hosty thing. So I was kind of like, I don't know, but maybe if they want me to do it as a YouTuber, whatever. Okay, I'll obviously, you guys will find out if that happens. Dan, do it. It's Ginger Jesus. Yeah, everyone's like, Dan, what are you doing? Do it. It's okay. Okay, I know your opinion. Thanks for that. It's good, but it would take out like 2 days of my life. It might mean that my next video would be a few days later if I have to do this thing. Maybe. We'll see. That's what I'm thinking of. It's like my 2013 was full of things that took up my time that meant that I made YouTube videos half as often. And this would be one of the 2013 things. I could not do it, and then I could upload a video this Saturday, or like next Tuesday probably, always, or Monday actually. Or I could do it, and then whatever. Do what you want, said Megan. Do what I want. Maybe I don't know what I want. You get paid, right? Yeah, but anyway. Do you like spring rolls? Yeah. Who doesn't like spring rolls? Spring rolls are freaking amazing. I discovered this place recently in London that's like takeout sushi. Okay, it's weird. What do Americans call food that you order and it comes to your house? Because in England we call it takeaway, so we'd get like Chinese takeaway or Indian takeaway, but we're not actually taking it out. So you know when people in America are like, we're getting takeout, and you'd like order it and you'd go to the place. You're not taking it out though. You know, it's like no one anymore actually very often ever goes to the place to pick up the food. It just gets delivery. So do people call it takeout? So why do we call it takeout and takeaway if we're calling it delivered? Everyone's saying delivery in the chat. If people in America sometimes call it delivery, then we need to start calling it delivery over here because it's more accurate. Anyway, I discovered a place that does delivery sushi. Amazing. Oh my god. Loving the sushi. Why won't you come to Canada? Said Keisha. I'd love to go to Canada. I'd love to go to Canada. Have you seen Sword Art Online? Said someone. Yeah. One of my favorite animes of all time. Have I spoken to you guys before? Last time we spoke, did I go on a little mini rant about, it wasn't a rant, but about how I feel like some of the best animes are only planned to be one season long, and then they kind of like artificially extend it and it's not as good. Did I do that? If so, that's Sword Art. It's a thing, stop it. Visit Czech, please. Czech, please. I've gotten back into watching Adventure Time as well, because I usually watch anime with lunch, because it's like the right amount of time for like a lunch procrastination. You know what I mean? It's like if you're watching TV shows, then it's either going to be a day where you're not achieving anything and you're just sat down all day watching TV shows and you're just like, okay, I'm going to watch an entire season of this. But for me, it's like anime and lunch. But I finished the anime I'm watching recently, so I've been catching up with Adventure Time. Oh my god. Adventure Time is just... It's just so good. Like, it's just not even... When Adventure Time started, everyone knew that it was this creative, cool show with a funny sense of humor, but no one knew that it would get as good as it is. It's important. Adventure Time is important, okay? It's so creative, and because it's 10 minutes long and there's so many episodes and it's on Cartoon Network, they can do the weirdest things, just the weirdest conceptual things or creative things that are just so freaking weird, and some of the times they're just like weird and confusing, and then sometimes you hate it and then sometimes you love it, but it's important because nothing else would ever do that, which is why Adventure Time's important. What's Adventure Time? It's a cartoon that's on Cartoon Network, but it's one of those cartoons that is mostly watched by like people in their 20s. You know what I mean? Not like My Little Pony in a creepy way, because My Little Pony is like watched by people under the shade of their fedoras. Not going to talk about that, but Adventure Time is just a fantastic show that happens to be animated. It's truly great. Will you go to Belgium? Sure, one day. Adventure Time toys with McDonald's Happy Meals. Oh, really? Is that a thing soon? Oops. Dan, you need to join the YouTube boy band. Maybe. As much as I love my bros. Do you own a fedora? Nope. I'm not enough of a charming gentleman to wear a fedora, my lady. I accidentally almost uninstalled Flappy Bird on my phone earlier, which I was really scared, because it's like a rare baseball card, or it's like a discontinued coin. You know, it's so rare now. It's like, I still have the Flappy Bird. It's good. If you want a really good iPhone game for people that are actually into games that are kind of good, then there's one called Duet. Do you see it there? Ooh, it's called Duet. And it's like a Flash game, and it's like kind of hard, but it's really amazing. There we go. Anyway, Dan's iPhone app reviews in 10 seconds. Riveting. There you go. Were you impressed by my reuse of Instagram again? Look forward to the frequency of my Instagrams going now that I've returned to my life of having no life whatsoever. But it was good. I was really good on Instagram for like 5 days, and then I stopped, and now I'm back. Just gonna. Please, can you sing? Not really. No. Do you like the Beatles? Yes. You should get the game 2048. I know what that game is. It's le good. Phil is watching, is he? Probably. In a tab, muted. He doesn't know that you're freaking out. Oh, American Horror Story. Yeah. Carnival. I missed that. I mean, I knew that they revealed that it was going to be called American Horror Story Freak Show, like a week after they revealed that it was in a carnival. But I was on a flight to Florida when they revealed it, so I didn't know. Excited, because American Horror Story is the freaking best. Yes, it is. My body is not ready, and it never will be. Because, oh my god, American Horror Story. Oh yeah. Sorry. Did you guys see Phil's video, the 7-second challenge thing that he did with PJ? That was good. And the Would You Rathers we did with PJ? It was good. Okay, this is a secret. Okay, this is a secret. Probably not supposed to tell anybody. But Phil actually invented the 7-second challenge. It's a completely, I mean, I think it's based on like a million like party games and board games that exist in real life, but as like a YouTube thing, Phil created it because he thought it would be a really good idea, and he conceived it, and he made this idea for it, and he wanted it to be the thing that he did with lots of YouTubers on his channel, because you know how people have series where they you know, everyone has like one kind of video, and you know, they do it with all the people. Well, Phil wanted that to be like his thing that he did with people, but then all the other YouTubers that kind of just do the, what do I need to do this week? Or let's see what all the other YouTubers are up to. They just did it. Because Phil decided that he was going to go public with, I want this to be my thing, when it was already too late. So, sad face for Phil. Because he just did it, and he was like, hey guys, look at my new video series, and then all the other YouTubers were like, it's mine now. That's why you need to specify if something's a tag or not. If you don't claim ownership, it's fair game. but I was thinking of a thing like that. I need to think of, because I could think of, you know, like funny video ideas to make things about, and then slot different YouTubers into each one. But if I came up with an idea of like one thing to do, then I could just be like, fucking come to my house, let's pump out the videos, you know what I mean? So homework for myself is to think of that. Didn't he make the toilet tag? Phil did make the toilet tag. Phil is truly underrated. He made when was that? It was like August or something. I was gonna do the toilet tag perfectly and do it. I was gonna put it on my second channel, but I was too busy. Story of 2013. I wish I could have supported toilet tag, because it was truly, truly the best tag in a while. Because some of them, the question-based ones, are incredibly boring. It's like, let's have the survey of things and the things of people about you, and it's just like, whereas toilet tag, man, is truly a work of art, wasn't it? Oh yeah. Be hipster. What does that mean? Never too late, Dad. Never too late. I could do it tomorrow. Do you know My Chemical Romance? Said Sarah A. Yes, I am familiar with the band My Chemical Romance. He made the Tumblr tag. He did make the Tumblr tag as well. Phil, he invented everything, didn't he? Oh. Phil did do the Tumblr tag. But it was funny because I don't want to sound mean. As I've said before, unless someone specifically says that something belongs to them, it is perfectly fine for other people to do it. Because I love tags. I love tags. I love when all the YouTubers do a thing, you know what I mean? Where it's just like an event, like photo booth challenge. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I really want to make this like an event that everyone's talking about. It's really fun. I love it when people do like tags and stuff like that. But Phil made his Tumblr tag video, but he meant it as in his tag on Tumblr, as in the Amazing Phil Tumblr tag. But because he put it as my Tumblr tag, people thought that it was the Tumblr tag, as if people could just kind of assume that they could tag themselves to do it. So again, Phil was like, hey, I made a video, but because he called it the Tumblr tag, everyone was like, I can do it. Are you going to VidCon? Yeah, I am going to VidCon. And as I discussed earlier, you may or may not get to meet me. We'll see how that works out. But it will be fun. I mean, you generally, you shouldn't go to YouTube events just to meet YouTubers, because they're supposed to, I mean, you can, there's nothing wrong with that at all, but they're supposed to be like whole events about the world of YouTube. So if you go to VidCon and you don't manage to meet John Green or something, then at least go with the intention to enjoy all of like the stage performances and the panels, if you want to go watch any, and the stuff that happens in the expo hall. But where's your horn hoodie? In my wardrobe, I think. Have you ever been to Liverpool? I have never been to Liverpool. Why do you not wear your Manchester University hoodie anymore? That's random, because I used to, when I was at university, I used to wear my university hoodie, but no, I don't, because I feel like I didn't finish it, so I don't really deserve to go there. You know what I mean? It's like if you go to a college and then you graduate from it, and you're like, yeah, man, I remember the time I went to Harvard, or whatever, or like, look at me, I went to USC. It's like, I bailed. I cannot rep the university. I went by, which you shouldn't do. Stay in school unless you have a plan. Very important. Probably should definitely get a degree unless you have a plan, which you probably don't, so you should. Have you been to Ireland? I have been to Ireland. I like Ireland. Dan, are you going to go now because I just arrived? Well, I mean, yeah, I am going to go soon, so that was very bad timing, unfortunately. But generally speaking, I do them at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays. Well, okay, if I'm going to do a live show, I will tweet beforehand that I'm going to. I won't if I'm obviously on a plane on Tuesday or something like that. Anyway, beauty school dropout, that's me. Holla. Internet hobo, full time. You remember that? Is there anything else that you guys would like to discuss before I depart? Your Totoro thing, my Totoro thing. Yeah, I've discovered the joys of assembling things. It's very peaceful. Like I've found a new hobby in jigsaw making and nanoblock making. You'll remember the time I made that nanoblock Charmander. It was so fun just to sit there and to listen to music and to build something. And then I sat down and then did this jigsaw. Seriously, if you're feeling stressed, buy a jigsaw and then just sit in your room and then just spend an hour building a jigsaw. You will zen the fuck out. Seriously. I recommend it. And what else is good in my life? Siri's voice changed. Is anyone else sad about that? I miss the old Siri's voice. He used to be so assertive. I used to be like, can you set an alarm for 7:30? And he'd be like, alarm set. Whereas now he's like, alarm set, Dan. And I'm like, who are you? Get out! So I changed my Siri to Australian man. Hi Siri, are you Australian?
I'm sorry, Diane. I'm afraid I can't answer that.
I am sorry, Dan. I'm afraid I can't answer that. It's the only one that's tolerable. I hate them all, other than Australian guy. I would have Australian woman, but the idea of having a female operating system is too sexual to me. It's too like Cortana in Halo or like Scarlett Johansson. You know, it's too oddly sexual tension to have like, hey, I'm Siri for me. So free. I don't need that distractions. Not that there's anything that isn't totally hunky about Australian guy. I mean, for that voice.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
I would. But it's my birthday. Guys, we found someone who's Victoria L's birthday today. Happy birthday, Victoria. I hope that you haven't had the worst day ever because everyone's pranking you all the time and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, new video about typos. I felt that coming for so long, and I was so good with typos. And then, like, during and since the uploading of my video about typos, I've just been an absolute typo disaster machine that's just absolutely awful. So just enjoy laughing at every single tiny grammatical mistake I make. If you haven't seen my video yet, then you can click on the red button down. Look at me, I know how to use the website. Oh yeah. But that's cool. I'll probably make a video soon, pending thing that may or may not be happening. But yeah. And cool. Okay. I hope you guys have been good since the last time I saw you. This was fun. Nice to catch up. Turkey blocked YouTube. Yeah, just before I go, let's get really political. Who wants to talk about democracy? No. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go now before I just waffle anymore. Right. If there's more to talk about, and I feel like I'm rushing my goodbye, that's good, because it means that I wait for. Don't leave. Like, okay. Don't leave. It smells of like. You know when, I don't know, you know when you're in gym class at school and they give you like a jersey to wear, or like one of those like, your team red and your team blue, put these sashes on, it smells like that. You should probably wash it. Yeah. Cool. Everyone's just going, no. If you don't, what do you want to talk about? Okay, so, yeah. I want to, whatever, videos, cool. Disgusting. Have you seen that video? If you haven't yet, it'll change your life. The Cher Lloyd mum who accuses the daughter of not flushing the toilet. Life-changing. I was thinking, I'm going to start... Because I watch loads of funny videos all the time, and I wish I could share them with more people, so I'm going to make a playlist of the videos that I watch all the time, so you can kind of, like, stalk my internet history. So if you like the sound of that, then I'm going to start doing that soon, just so there's that extra level of stalkiness, I think. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-bum, honk. Right, that's cool. I hope you guys are good, and I will see you later. Bye! Be happy and stuff, ciao!